So today, look what we've got. We have got a regrowth tin, which is to cover grey on top. The client also wants to go a bit darker, but still with some lighter pieces in the hair as well. So we are going to section the hair. As you can see, we're just going through the parting, which is a little bit smaller in width as a piece of foil. And I'm just going to section the sides off as well, making sure that it's clean. I have mixed up 8NI with 6% in a bowl, and I'm just going to put some packets along the parting area of 8NI, and I'm going to take it all the way through. So it's got 6% on it because it's going to lighten the roots and cover the grey as well. I'm not going to do these packets too close together, otherwise it will end up being too blonde, not blonde, but too light on top, too sun-kissed. So I'm just going to space them out nicely between each packet. And we're going to go all the way to the front section. The client does tend to like it a little bit lighter around the face. She's already got some lighter pieces there. So I'm just going to weave those sections out and put in some packets at the front. Now I'm also going to put in some packets in a diagonal angle. Just going to weave that there using the same colour, ANI, which is a level 8. The client is about a level 6, I'll say. She's got a lot of grey going through the top as well. So putting some packets in at the side and working my way up in areas that I feel need to have it. So as you can see, I've just put in a packet on the left and a packet on the right. I'm now gonna, that was the ANI that I applied onto her hair. I'm now going to mix up another colour, which is 6NI, and I'm going to apply that as the Regrowth tint. So I've mixed up 6NI. It's a permanent colour with 6%. She's got quite a bit of regrowth going on there. And her old colour is a bit lighter than a 6. So, like I said, we want to go a bit darker on the roots, but not the same colour all over. Otherwise, I would have just put on the 6NI all over, which I don't want to do. So 6NI, I'm going to do regrowth tint in between each packet, making sure that I paint in between the packets and also on the roots of the packets as well. I don't want to miss out any grey strands where I might have picked it up in the foil packet. So it's really important to get into the gaps where the hair is not coloured between the scalp and the ANI colour inside the packets. So I'm just going to paint all this on the roots, and then I'm going to paint a different colour on the mid-lengths and ends. Stick with me. So at the bottom of the hair, I'm just going to put 6NI all the way through, just so it is darker underneath and a bit lighter on top. I like to see that there's a bit of definition in the hair, especially if the client would like to curl their hair, then they can see some different colours going through it. So the 6NI, I've put on the roots all over, and I've also put on the mid-lengths and ends on the back sections only. Right, so now I'm going to put on the next colour, which is 7BB, on the mid-lengths and ends. You could do any level 7, 703 if you wanted to, just so that it does appear darker at the roots and lighter at the ends. Now, as her hair has got colour on already, it's just going to blend it through that little bit better, and just makes the hair a little bit more exciting than just putting on one colour all over the head. So I'm just going to apply it to the mid-lengths and ends on whatever hair has not been coloured, so eventually it will be a full head of colour with a few packets in between. Once it's done, we're going to allow it to develop for the development time. The most important thing is the root, so that's got 45 minutes to develop. The mid-lengths and ends will only have 20 minutes left to develop, so we've just got to time it all for the root time, making sure that the white hair is all covered before washing it off. So that's all washed off now, and we're going to go straight in with the haircut. Now the client doesn't want much hair taken off at the back, she likes the length, but she's fed up with the front. It looks kind of a little bit lank. She likes a little bit of movement in the face, so we're going to try and do some butterfly feathers at the front, or butterfly haircut, just so it gives it a little bit of movement. So we're cutting the one length at the moment, taking sections down, which is being pulled at 0 degrees, as close to the back as you possibly can, making sure that there's no graduation, so the head is tilted forward. And then we're going to move up the head to the next section, taking straight lines as we go up. It's quite handy to have long fingernails when sectioning, because it does help get a straight line. So the next section, we're just going to pull it down to meet the guideline. So we're not making it longer or shorter than what we've just previously cut. We're doing it exactly the same. I always start off in the middle, then go to the left hand side, then the right hand side, check the balance, and then move up. When doing the back, the side section, I take a piece of the back section, make sure that's straight, and then move forward to the front of the head. And just make sure it all blends. What I do to the left, I will then do to the right hand side. Once I've cut both sides, left and right, I will then stand behind my client and just balance check. Looking in the mirror, just checking and make sure that it looks the same, feeling it with my fingers, making sure you kind of finish at the same time as you pull down the hair. I'm going to go to the front of the head now. Now the client's already got an outgrown fringe, which she used to have long and used to just kind of have like the 70s kind of sweeping fringe there. I'm just going to give it a bit of angle and a bit of layers through there. Don't really want to take too much off the length, because I want it to be lightly and feathered. Okay, that is my first section there. Now my next section, I'm going to do it a bit longer than that, and I'm going to create a guideline just so that you can see. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. There we go. So think of feathers. Normally they start around chin length. So I'm just going to pull out and work on one side of the head first. My first guideline is cut, and then I'm just going to cut it parallel, but over direct it towards me. So I'm pulling it slightly closer to me, so not so much is coming off. Now I'm going to do exactly the same the other side. And grab the hair all the way down to the ear, but pull it closer to me. By pulling it closer to me, it makes it longer. So we've got movement going on, but it's not so drastic. It will all blend at the end. It's just a way that I can shorten the hair around the face. Now, because I've only done the front section of the hair, I've pulled in some hair from the back, and I'm going to blend it forward as well, just to meet the exact same guideline. So everything on the right hand side of the client, I'm kind of pulling over to the left hand side of the head. Everything on the opposite side, I'm pulling over to the right hand side. Just making sure it all blends. And because it's all coming forward, it's actually quite easy to blow dry. Now there's no more hair to come from the back because there was hardly any hair to cut off there. So it's all been cut around the face. It's given it a nice little frame. And everything is meeting the same guideline there. Now it's time to blow dry. Rough drying the hair first of all. You can put on whatever products that you want. You need something that's going to hold a little bit of curl or flickiness or bounce or something. Any mousse you can put on, some setting spray. So now it's pretty much 70% dry. I'm going to section the hair so that it's ready to blow dry. Clipping bits out the way, which I feel I can do maybe going forward. I always like to work in kind of like panels rather than front and back. I like working side to side. So the client's got quite fine hair. I put on some setting lotion. So we're lifting it up, giving it as much volume as we can and smoothing it down. And what we do to the left-hand side, we do to the right. Once we've done the first section, move up the head, blow dry in the next section without picking up what you've already blow dried underneath. You can see some of the colours there. It's slightly darker at the top, gradually getting lighter. So I've let down my final panel to blow dry, making sure that it's separate. Give it that root lift, pull it up to the ceiling. The higher the better. Grease loves to travel down the hair, so if you give it some root lift, it won't get greasy as quick. The bigger the brush as well, the bigger the root lift. So we're going to come round to the front section now. Now because I've cut the whole haircut forward, it's so easy this. You're just going to blow dry it all forward as well. The only difference is you've got to make sure that the hair sits in front of the brush. So if I'm standing there, if you see that, see how the hair is in front of the brush as I blow dry it? If I do it that way, the hair's behind the brush. Okay, that's in front, so we're going to continue to do it in front and kind of flicking it out. Now I'm getting the brush really, really hot, and then I'm going to press my cool button, which allows the hairdryer to blast out cold air, and that sets it. So we've got a nice little flick going up. It might not look good at the moment, but at the end, it's going to give it a little bit of movement, which is different. It's not going under, it's flicking out, which gives it that nice kind of butterfly effect. So remember, lots of root lift, and you want the hair in front of the brush as you blow dry. Get them roots dry first. And as you can see, I'm drying it nice and hot, rolling it up, keeping it nice and hot, and then pressing the cool button and cooling it on the brush. And I will continue to do this motion for every section left to dry. So continue to blow dry, root lift, hair in front of the brush. Get the roots dry first. And you can see the colour is looking a lot nicer now. It's still two-tone, which is what the client wanted. She still wanted it lighter at the ends, but she wanted it a lot darker. So let's pick up this section. Make sure it's really wrapped around the brush nicely. Don't forget a bit. There we go. Oh, forgot a bit. Go back in, get it. Blast it with hot air, then put the cold air on it to set it. It's got a lovely shine to it as well. So I am blow drying from the crown all the way forward now. All that top section. Right, so you can see all the front section is flicking out a little bit. You can see different colours going through the hair as well. As the hair is cooling in its new position, it's setting there, so it doesn't matter what you do, it'll always be there. So I can just get my paddle brush, go through it. And just see how it sets now. So you've got the movement in the hair. You can put loads of hairspray on it, you can put shine spray on it, a bit of serum, whatever you want to do. But the client's happy because you've got darker hair, which is what she wanted. Also wanted a bit more movement around the front, which is perfect. Yep, and just let her play with it for a bit. Thank you.